All right. Welcome back to the Rome Grid. Today we got a good one, y'all. Today we are going to the islands of Puerto Rico. You heard what I said, Puerto Rico. Today we're doing a Puerto Rican Pernil. Yes, sir. Right here with this pork picnic shoulder. So y'all stay tuned. We got a good one coming up, y'all. Right here on the Rome Grill. Yeah, boy. All right, y'all. I just want to give y'all a preview of what we're gonna be using to make this beautiful Puerto Rican pernil. We're definitely gonna be using this some adobo, any kind you want. Got some sazon, any brand, any kind you want. Got plenty of garlic, plenty of fresh oregano, and of course we've got that pork picnic right here. This is about, I want to say it's about a 6-pounder. Look like about 5-6 pounds. Okay. We also got some sea salt, some black pepper, and of course some olive oil. And this is what we're going to use to make that beautiful pernil. Yes, sir. What I want to start with is peeling back the fat. No, we're not getting rid of it. We're going to use it later. But what we want to do is we want to make sure that we get that all that good marinade that we're going to, not marinade, but all that good garlic, and I guess you can't call it a marinade because it's going to sit on the meat for a minute. We want to make sure that we get all of that in direct contact with the actual meat, and you won't be able to do that with this fat. This fat is going to stop you from doing that. So, but no, we're definitely not throwing it away. We're going to use it in another way. So y'all just hang on in there, and I will show you. But I just want to show you what I'm doing. I'm just pulling it back. I'm not trying to get the meat. I'm just trying to get the skin, and I'm not trying to poke through it. So y'all stay tuned. I'm gonna speed it up, and y'all be able to see exactly what I'm doing. You'll still be able to see it. I'm just gonna speed the video up. So stay tuned. All right, now as you can see, we've got all of the fat off of the meat. We still left it on the bone, just on the edge of the bone. So we didn't take it all off. So we're still gonna use all of this, but we're left with just the little layer of fat that's left on the meat and on the bottom as well. So you basically can see it's just hanging on. The fat is just hanging on. The skin is just hanging on. So we're gonna move on to the next step of building the marinade that we're gonna put on top of this. But before we do that, you wanna make sure you take a nice sharp knife, whichever one, and you wanna start stabbing your meat. Get all your frustrations out. You wanna stab it all over, because the marinade that we're gonna build with adobo, salt, pepper, garlic, fresh oregano, all that stuff is going to, we're gonna rub all in this meat. Like, we're gonna get it all the way up in there. So in order for it to really get deep up in there, you need to make some nice little holes in the meat. So take your frustrations out. You want to do it all over. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up, and then when the video comes back, we'll be making the marinade. Stay tuned. All right, y'all. Now it's time to build the paste that we're going to use to marinate this pork shoulder in. So first thing first is garlic. I'm gonna use a whole head of garlic. Like all of it. You ain't never got enough garlic when it comes to this pork. And you basically just want to take them out. You can buy this, of course, you can buy this already ready to go. You can buy it in the store already peeled, but I mean, I think it's something therapeutic about smashing garlic. So we're going to go ahead and smash all of this. So I'm not going to bore y'all with talking through this. I'm going to go ahead and speed this up too. So stay tuned. I would recommend using one head of garlic, which is basically, I would recommend using one head of garlic. I kind of did it over a little bit, so I went like 1.5 heads of garlic, but one head of garlic is all that you need. So I'm just gonna put everything that I'm gonna blend in my food processor right here. Of course, you could use a mortar and pestle if you want to do that, but I'm gonna use the food processors. All right, so next is fresh oregano. If you want to use dry, use dry. If that's all you got, use dry. I'm going to use pretty much a whole, I guess you could say this is a whole stem off of a oregano. And I'm throwing it all in here. The big hard stem I'm not going to put in here, but everything else I'm going to put in here. So you might as well say, if you were using like dried oregano, I would probably say use like maybe about a tablespoon or less. Oregano is kind of strong. Play it by ear. So I'm gonna put that in there. Next is the adobo. I'm gonna use 2 tablespoons of adobo. I'm just putting it in this bowl because I'm gonna transfer it to my food processing next. All right, if you want to use some sazon, I'm gonna use 2 tablespoons of sazon. Now, you can make more of this and hold it in the refrigerator. If you want to make this for Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, whatever, at least you'll be ready to go. I'm also going to use 1 tablespoon of salt. Now, to me, these don't have a lot of salt in them. These particular brands of sazon and adobo, so I'm going to add more. All right, black pepper. I'm going to go 2 tablespoons of black pepper. All right, so that's all our mixture. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take this to the food processor. I'm gonna add maybe about a tablespoon and a half, maybe 2 tablespoons of oil. But really what I'm trying to do is blend this up and make a nice paste. So I'll show you guys that on the flip side. Stay tuned. All right, y'all. Here's our food processor. Here's our mixture right here. All we're gonna do is dump it all in our food processor. Now, I'm gonna start with probably like a tablespoon of olive oil, and I'm gonna eyeball it. Let's hit it. All right, now, just want to take a look at it real quick. That's what I'm looking at so far. You can see it's kind of grainy. I'm gonna put a little more olive oil in there. You don't want it wet. You want it to be nice coarse consistency. But all right, guys. Now we're ready to go. We've got all of the puncture wounds in our pork shoulder. We punctured it up real good. Now, let y'all see. That's what you're looking at. That's our paste right there that we're gonna rub on there. That's what you want it to look like. Of course, like I said, you can use a mortar and pestle. Food processor just works quicker for me. Now, I'm gonna put on gloves because one of those particular, the sazon, you know, sometimes you can get your hands all colored up. So I'm gonna go ahead and make sure I put on some gloves. But you just wanna rub it in there, man. You want to rub it in there. Let me make sure y'all can see this real good. I'm rubbing it in there. Find those little holes, push it in there. Okay, and we're gonna do this all over. This is a big cut of meat. It could take a lot of flavor. So let me move this food process out of the way. All right, back at it. All right. And you want to get all over. The front, the back. Man, the smell is crazy. That garlic, that oregano, man, intense. All right, gonna flip it over on the other side as well. And like I say, you want to get it in those holes. We're gonna let this sit in the refrigerator for probably about 6 hours. Overnight would be even better. But I'm gonna let it roll out for probably about 6 hours in the refrigerator, and then we will pop it in the oven. The whole purpose is you want a nice, moist, juicy interior, and you want the skin nice and crispy. All right, just so you can see, taking that seasoning, got my finger in that hole, I'm pressing it in there, and I'm not just dropping it in there, I'm moving it around in those holes. Make sure you move that seasoning around in those holes. Okay. All right, again, put it in the hole, Just move it around. You want to push it deep into that meat as far as you can. So you can season it from the inside out. You want to do this on the flip side as well. So I'm going to go ahead and knock this out. I'll be right back. Alright, y'all. Next step. I should have did this before I put the marinade on, but that's okay. Next, what we want to do is with a very sharp knife, we want to score the skin. We want to score the skin. Because what's going to happen is, at the end, when we cook it, so you want to score it. At the end, when we roast it off on over high heat to finish it off, the skin is going to get nice and crispy. And so you want to open the skin up so that fat can release, and also so that you can get some seasoning down in there. Alright. This would have been easier if I would have done it before I put all this olive oil infused olive oil infused marinade on my hands. But let me go ahead and get this skin alright, and if you've noticed, just like on a ham, I'm just trying to get some nice little squares cut into that. And then what I'll do is I'll take this marinade and I'm going to run it into the skin just like that. Hopefully y'all can see that. So what's going to happen is, when we cook this at the end, all of that fat is going to render out, and that flavor is going to be sitting right in between the skin. It's going to be nice and crispy. Probably one of the best parts of this whole process. So I'm going to keep going with this, and I'll show y'all what it looks like before we bag it up and put it in the refrigerator. Stay tuned. Alright y'all, and just like that, we are finished. So again, you want to puncture up that skin, cut some nice little squares into it. All this area surface meat is beautiful. If you want to, what you could do is you could take some other slivers of garlic and push them down into your holes. But I'm not doing all that. I got plenty of garlic laying on this meat. It's going to be on there for 6 good hours. So we're going to pack this thing back up. I'm about to put it in a baggie, sit it in the refrigerator for 6 hours, and then we'll roast it off. So y'all stay tuned. Look at that thing, man. Ooh, wee. Yes, sir. Guys, welcome back. It's been 24 hours. We let the pork sit all night in the refrigerator. And let's see what we got. Taking the full out. I don't know if you guys can see this. I might have to make an adjustment on the camera. But this is what we're looking at. Man, if y'all can smell this thing, man, that thing smells amazing. So let's go ahead and get the stove preheated to 350 degrees. I'm going to put a little bit more adobo on top. We're going to let it cook. Stay tuned. Alright, so we're going to put this in this foil pan. This is just me. You don't have to do this, but because I am going to put water in here. I'm just going to hit it with a little bit of olive oil in the pan. Alright, then we're going to take our roast. Look at that thing. Money. And place it right there in the pan. Very big roast. Alright. Let me wipe my hands up real quick. Alright, now I'm going to take my adobo seasoning that I used to, and I'm just going to hit it on top one more time. Alright, just on the skin. If you want to, you can flip it over and do all that, but I'm not. Alright. And now, this is going to cook for a long time. It's going to push out a lot of moisture. It's going to push out a little fat. But I am going to add just a little bit of water to my pan in the front and in the back. Probably about, let's say I added probably about a cup and a half of water. All this is going to do is help stop the pan from burning at the bottom, and also it's going to contribute to that beautiful au jus at the end. So we're going to let the oven preheat. We'll be back. Let's stick it in the oven. There we go, y'all. Stay tuned. Alright, there she is in all of her glory in a full-size foil pan. Just want to give y'all a look real quick. You can tell this is a pretty big roast. She is about 5 to 6 pounds, and it's a full-size foil pan, and it's in there pretty deep. Just want to make sure you don't touch no sides. water to create that beautiful au jus that's gonna start. And there she goes. Alright, just a quick note. You're gonna be putting foil on top of this, and so you got a nice thick fat cap on top. So just to ensure that the fat cap does not stick to the foil, just a little non-stick cooking spray right in the center, and that takes care of all your problems. So we'll go ahead, wrap it up, 350 degrees. It's in the oven. In the oven it goes. So after 2 hours, woo, boy. That is what we're looking at. Let me see if I can get a close up on that thing. See if y'all can see that thing close up. That's what we're looking at 2 hours. So this is what we're gonna do. You can see the skin is starting to pull back a little bit. You ain't even worried about that. I'm not even gonna take an internal temp of it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wrap it back up and let it go another hour, and then we'll check it. Y'all stay tuned. All right, y'all. It has been a total of 3 hours. Now, let's see what we're working with now. Boy, that steam is hot. Watch your face. All right. Oh man, now you can really smell it now. All right, so now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna crank this oven up to 450. And now we're getting ready to break the skin down to make it nice and crispy. So there it is, y'all. Stay tuned. And matter of fact, let me go ahead and temp it just so I can know where I'm sitting at. Oh yeah, I'm at about 160. Yes, sir. So 1 hour, 450 degrees. We're gonna crisp the skin up real nice and pretty, and we'll be. All right, guys, and just like that, we are done. 3 hours wrapped in foil, 1 hour unfoil wrapped at 450 degrees, and this is what we have there. You can hear that skin, man. You can hear it. Ooh. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let it sit here and rest for about 15 minutes. Cover it back up. And then we'll put it on a cutting board and let you see what it look like. All right, guys, and just like that, we are ready to go. So before I do anything to that pernil, I wanna make sure, y'all know how I feel about the juices. Make sure I save all of my juices. You can use some of this to make rice. You can put it in your beans, whatever. Me, I'm gonna put some back over on top of this pork when I get to cutting on it. So let's get that out of the way. And I'm gonna slide this out the way. But that's it, y'all. That is it. Look at that. Man, this is like the prized possession on it right here. That crispy skin. Yes, sir. It's still piping hot, man. It's still piping hot. So, all right, y'all. I can't wait no longer. So, let's go ahead and get into this thing. All right. I mean, of course, you could try to get in there with a knife and cut it. Look at all that juice popping out. Look at that. Look at that. Hope y'all can see that. Look at that. I mean, all you really need is a knife. I took this to about 185 degrees. I would say stay right around 185, 190 degrees, and you'll have nice tender pork. Look at that. You can see it's hot, man. You can see that marinade down in there, man. The adobo, the garlic, the oregano. I mean, look at that thing, man. Perfect. This is perfect. Christmas, New Year's, any time of the year, man. And what I like to do, I take a little bit of them drippings and just drop them right on top. Yes, sir. So, let me clean up my mess. Let me make me a plate, and y'all can watch me eat. All right, guys, go ahead and make me a plate. Got me some rice, got me some beans. Take some of that pork. Pull it apart, lay it right on that plate. Of course, you gotta have some skin. That crispy skin. You gotta have some skin. And that right there, man, is beautiful and ready to eat, man. Pernil, Puerto Rican pernil. I want to thank y'all for joining me at the Rolling Grill. As always, good food, good vibes. Yeah, boy!
And FYI, when you're finished with it, this bone right here, do not throw it away. That's going in a pot of beans. Yeah, boy.